Big Germ goes and joins Climo and leaves Innova. Ezra proves we weren't lying all along. Clickbait Drew hints of bigger news yet to come, and even more this week in disc golf. I'm sure all you disc-generates are as giddy as me as the offseason has officially arrived. And if not, don't worry, the disc golf world has got you covered. For the ones who don't know, I'm Swiss Cheese, the one with all the holes in his game, and you're watching This Week in Disc Golf, where I cover all things disc golf from the past week. A quick shout out to those on the Patreon. Your guys' contributions to the channel helps us create the content that we enjoy to make. To every one of you watching, thank you for your time. And if you're new, make sure to hit that subscribe button for all your fast-hitting disc golf news. There's just way too much to unpack, so buckle in as this might be a long one. And guys, make sure to stay, because I'm dropping Isaac's new sponsor, and the news about Ricky the entire media has been holding on to. So let's waste no time and just dive in already. The New Year's for everyone else is dialing up for parties, fireworks, confetti, resolutions that are never kept, and of course the hangovers. But for us disc golfers, it's also the kickoff to all the offseason action, as speculation turns into actual player announcements. And it all begins with Innova's roster team unveiling. And while we're talking about Innova, let's start with the more surprising of the announcements than the Robinsons leaving or that Ezra news. Because for most of you, no one had Jeremy Koling leaving Innova after 8 years with the brand, as a lot of us expected Germ to take those swirly Thunderbird royalties to the bank, at least for the remainder of his playing career and possibly beyond. So much so, most fans expected a marketing error when Germ's name was left off the star team lineup, only for Germ to confirm it wasn't by announcing his departure from the brand. Germ becomes the second veteran player in less than a month to leave Innova and embark on a new sponsorship. And though this seems far more cordial than the Climo departure, the news is just as shocking, and the biggest of this new year, which has many questioning what exactly is going on, kinda similar to every Innova offseason. Innova still rosters Philo and Juliana, both of which tour far less than Germ. At his ever-budding media and ambassador presence, with not just Jomez but the DGPT, it'd be foolish to believe that Innova did not make an offer to Germ or pushed him out due to pay. But just like Climo, Germ had to be negotiating from a position of strength, with at least one other offer in his pocket, as he might have felt the appeal of a brand shakeup to cash in on that invigorated fan base like Paul, Simon, and others before. Not a terrible mindset considering he's entering the Masters division this year, and has already spoken of himself being in the twilight of his career. The rumors that have followed has Germ landing nearly everywhere, from Franklin Discs, Discraft, and others, with the exception of Prodigy, who can't stop catching strays in nearly every offseason talk. But this one coming directly from Germ, as it was the only brand that he made it clear that a return was not happening. And I mean, it was the only brand he distanced himself from. Will, you got some absolute work ahead of you, my guy, and I wish you the best. However, Germ's notoriety and a contract that needs to match or beat what Innova was offering, this feels like more of a major manufacturer move than a small brand landing disc golf's mouth of the South. And I know everybody likes to throw out separate business ventures, but nobody's really taking that on in this market. Despite the initial shock of Germ's departure, Innova's star team release also sets the stage for what this offseason will shape up to be. I know many still want to tie Isaac and other big free agent names to the brand, ignoring the fact that Innova doesn't know how to promote and has rarely added players after their initial team release post. And don't worry, I'll tell you where Isaac will land later, but focus for now. Innova's star roster was cut by 3 total players, moving from 16 down to 13, as the team parted ways with not only Germ, but also Joel Freeman and Haley King. And the brand also broke from multi-year deals on all their rostered players, a sign of the times. Even with those losses, Innova has positioned themselves in a favorable situation this upcoming year and towards the future. They locked up Owen Scoggins, who is the top FPO talent in the market, while also landing 2024 breakouts in Emily Weatherman and Sophia Donica to Innova's champion lineup. Weatherman is already a proven winner on the tour and has a Rookie of the Year award under her belt also, making what was already the strongest FPO lineup even stronger. Another breakout talent, Cal Lundquist, re-signed and should make more waves than that time he tried running off with Heimberg's putter. Innova also made giant strides in the international market with the expansion of the recently formed Innova Europe that most here in the States have forgotten about or didn't even know it existed. They have locked in some premier European youth to the brand in teenage talents Laida Litamaki and Eetu Tuminen, who made a name for themselves this year at European stops. Tuominen had a DGBT Europe podium finish, and if that's not impressive, how about a top 20 at this year's USDGC at the ripe age of 17? And don't sleep on Rasmus Sakaripi. But that will all be ignored as most will still scream into the void about losing Climo and Germ. The much anticipated news of the Robinson brothers took multiple steps this week also. Fans and Prodigy Street Team have been eagerly waiting for any updates. Because I mean, someone has to throw for the brand, right? And it's not going to be the Robinsons, as both confirmed they are leaving Prodigy, along with Ezra already announcing he signed a 2-year deal with Discraft. Kinda exactly like we told you all the way back on December 1st. I apologize for reminding you twice, but it's been such a truth for so long you may have forgotten where it came from. And though we patiently wait for Isaac to finally announce his signing with Latitude 64, to finally putting months of Robinson's landing spot talks to bed. And yes, you didn't hear me wrong, he's going to Latitude 64. No matter what you think, what Foundation said, or how many times it's typed in comment sections, it's not Discmania. I don't care what hoodies are being worn, gravity bombs thrown, airport gate photos, or friends on the team. It will be Latitude 64, and I'm not speculating here, but I'm telling you. Now, let's get back to Ezra and his actual announcement that also came with a brand new logo titled Peach Pirate that forgoes Disc Golf's traditional initials logo. About time and a trend that needs to continue. Ezra instead opted for an ode to what Georgia is most known for and his love of Pirates of the Caribbean. And yes, the Peach Pirate jokes write themselves, but I'll let the crew over at Courtesy Violation hit on that one, because I really got too much to talk about. More interesting with the announcement, had some of Discraft's players who are still missing contract posts chimed in on the newest edition, as most now seem to be staying with the brand. Adam Hammis, snowboarding in Idaho, took the time to welcome Ezra to, quote, the family. Ezra Adderhold added plenty of room for 2 Ezras on Discraft. Hannah Wynn joined in also, and while Corey Ellis didn't share the Ezra announcement, he's been sharing Discraft sales ads, all of which should be signs of future announcements with Discraft, because it's January 1st and disc golfers are far too broke to promote for free. From the looks of this offseason, if Discraft maintains their elite lineup while adding Ezra, Climo, and possibly more, and continues to drive their standing in the sport as one of, if not the top brand destination for pros. They're the only ones locking in multi-year deal contracts for several pros already in this tumultuous signing period, something that their competitor, Innova, did not do. The only question marks that remain is whether or not the company will have any more new signings, and then there's Brody Smith. And I'm not trying to be controversial, I'm just listing observations here. But there's only one former Elite Discraft player without a contract announcement yet that is not sharing anything on socials on the Ezra signing or the brand for that matter. And yeah, Brody Smith might be busy breaking packs, podcasts, and digging into Foundation's business metrics. That and he's known for keeping news tight to his chest. But this does seem a little odd. And I'm not saying anything confidently here, or any news that I've heard of. But for now, does seem to be the only question mark with Discraft retaining their full lineup at this point. Clickbait Drew Gisbon poured gasoline on an already busy new year. With the community's heads still spinning, trying their best to process all the action, gets hit with a Gibson post saying the world of disc golf is about to be flipped upside down here soon. As if this week hasn't been enough. Now, I haven't spoken with Drew, so I'm not sure if he's referencing Ricky leaving Dynamic and hitting the market or the anticipated new tour, as a few of those have seemed to be coming out of the woodwork since the Go Throw Tour made their tour plans public. Do either of those flip disc golf upside down? Not necessarily. We said during the season, as far back as Ledgestone, the rumored pay cuts to Ricky's contract could result in him leaving. But could his new sponsor really change the game like Drew's alluding to? Sure, but it would need to be some outside money or brand to do so. Same for a new tour, because only a tour with any outside funding from disc golf manufacturers and Barbasol would move the needle to that level. Or maybe a new tour concept completely with a new structure or team dynamic that many desire. I'm not so sure it would reach that magnitude with fans, but it would flip the establishment for sure. And if we are being honest, the establishment is far too comfortable even with this sport's downsizing. Or maybe it's something new altogether that we've yet to hear about. And I sure hope so, because we need that clickbait just as bad as Drew. I got even more off-season news. That and the rest of the socials has been cold plunges and New Year's posts. So let's get to a little different type of quick hitters. Simon Lizotte and Eagle McMahon ended their grip bag sponsorship after 10 years with the brand. Not sure if MVP is releasing a new bag, but their marketing team is teasing something incoming. Alden Harris is entering year 2 of his contract, but he must be really jealous of all the Robinson talk, because he announced that he's representing the Shield in 2025. Austin Turner's level of shade and trolling exceeds anything the Vlog Squad can put together, making it very public just how overlooked he has been. Can someone get this guy a contract offer already? No player news coming out of any of the House of Disc lineup, whether that's player departures or signings, apart from Jared Stoll. Now, if it was anybody but House of Disc, I would be surprised that negotiations are still being had this late in the offseason. But with this leadership, I'm not surprised at anything now. And who knows, maybe they're waiting for that Isaac news to drop before the rest of the pros join. Only departures and regional signings have come out from Lone Star. Once a fixture in offseason talks has only seen nearly their entire lineup dissipate. Even Robert Burridge is gone. And he was the one that returned Kramer's van mid-season. And the Robinsons weren't the only ones to leave Prodigy. Aiden Scott also joined in, which leaves the team bare bones at the moment. Emerson Keith is out from Innova as he looks to land a new sponsor. He's not the only former DGPT winner, as Parker Welk is out from DGA. But Terry Miller on Smashbox TV teased he was working on a video edit that should be out in a few days. Thanks for that note, Parker. You know we'll remember that one. Humphreys tells Gannon he's owed for those 2 championship favors he handed him last year. Kevin Kiefer III and wife Stacy posted they are anticipating their first child, but the announcements didn't stop there, as Kevin joined Supreme Flight and Macbeth's Olympus staff in Florida. Congratulations to the 2 of them. Looks like Klein made his fantasy football championship. Gannon enjoyed his bowl game, while Kona, Colton, and Jeff Corns didn't. Guys, that wraps up this week in Disc Golf. If you've enjoyed and not subscribed, make sure to do so. And if you haven't already, hit that like button, comment, and share.
Oh my God, one time I said on this podcast that we don't have any athletes and all the Estonians lost their mind. We have a female disc golf.
Whoa.
Yeah. Ooh, what a sport.
Yeah. This is a big disc golf crowd.
What a stupid sport.
Have you ever played it?
Yeah, I tried it. Wow, what an experience.
You did it with like the heavy disc and everything, and people that knew what they were doing?
Yeah, it's boring.
I think it's cool.
Walk around in nature like an asshole with my little discus.
Even Red Band just said he thinks it's a cool sport.
Yeah, of course Red Band loves that sport. It's all in the wrist.
It's like golf, but with a frisbee.